All right, get ready for this one. We're about to walk through a truly chilling, first-hand account of a supernatural encounter. It's a story that starts with something totally normal, studying for finals, and spirals into a local legend that still haunts the town. So let's break down exactly what happened that night at Eden Hill.
So picture this. The story kicks off with this one single, unsettling detail. Our narrator is walking down a street that should be at least a little busy, but tonight it's dead silent, completely empty. And that quiet, that emptiness, is the very first sign that something is just not right.
Okay, so how does someone even end up on a deserted street like that? Well, it all started innocently enough. It all began with a late-night study session at school. You know how it is. Final exams were coming up and they just wanted to use the quiet of the library to cram.
I mean, the stage is set perfectly, right? It's after 10 o'clock at night, the narrator is all alone, totally buried in their books, and the school library, usually just a place of quiet focus, is now filled with what they describe as absolute silence. It's that eerie, heavy kind of quiet, the kind that's just waiting to be broken.
And then it happens. The silence shatters. But it's not a loud noise, not a door slamming. No, it's this distinct, rhythmic, and deeply unsettling sound of someone limping, a sound that has absolutely no business being in an empty library after hours. This is the exact moment the night goes from ordinary to something else entirely.
So as you can imagine, our narrator is spooked. I mean, who wouldn't be? They grab their stuff and make a break for it. But the school isn't quite done with them yet. As they're rushing down that long, dark corridor toward the exit, they see it, their first sighting.
Just stop and imagine that for a second. You're trying to get out of a place that's suddenly giving you the creeps, and down at the far end of the hall, blocking your way, there's a figure, a woman, just standing there in the shadows. That feeling of unease just explodes into pure, cold fear.
So what do? You call out. Your voice is probably trembling, a mix of fear and maybe a little bit of, I'm not going to be scared. It's that classic moment, right? You have to challenge whatever is hiding in the dark. But the response, it's not what you'd expect. Poof! Vanished. She didn't walk away, she didn't run. 1 second she was there, the next she just wasn't. And this is where things get really weird. A huge red flag that this isn't a normal encounter. The narrator is left terrified, but also maybe a little relieved, thinking, okay, that was weird, but it's over. Oh, but it was just getting started.
But that feeling, that dread, it follows them right outside. They step onto that weirdly empty street, and it doesn't take long to realize that whatever was in that corridor, it's out there with them.
This is just such a terrifying image. They're walking, head down, just trying to get home as fast as possible, and they see a shadow on the pavement stretching toward them. But when they look around, there's nobody there to cast it. The presence is back, and this time, it's way, way closer.
And that's when they look up, and they finally see her. She's not just a shadow anymore. She's wearing these torn, dirty clothes, her hands and feet look twisted, her hair is a total mess, and she has that same distinct, dragging limp they heard back in the library. It's her.
You know that feeling deep in your gut, that primal instinct that just screams, danger? That's what's happening here. Every single instinct is telling the narrator to stay back, do not get any closer. They're totally frozen, can't even think about walking past her. They're trapped by this presence that just feels so incredibly wrong. And slowly, painfully, she starts to close the distance. This woman, with her awful limp, she turns to face the narrator. This is it. This is the climax of the whole thing, the moment of confrontation that everything has been building up to. And that's what she asks, a question that is so simple, so painfully human, but in this context, it is absolutely terrifying. It's not a monster's roar or a ghostly wail, it's a desperate, sad question from a figure of pure horror. Have you seen my child?
So what do? You panic. The narrator just points anywhere, far away, just to get her to leave. And it actually works. The woman limps off into the darkness. The second she's out of sight, the narrator just bolts, running for their life. But just when they think they're safe, they hear it. A horrifying scream coming from the direction she went. And that's the last thing the narrator hears. And it's not a scream of anger, it's a scream of discovery, or maybe delusion. A terrifying, almost triumphant shout that just rips through the night air.
And then? Nothing. That's it. The terror just became too much and the narrator blacked out. The entire memory of what happened just ends right there, on that empty street with that chilling scream still echoing.
So, what happened next? Well, the narrator wakes up at home. A neighbor found them passed out on the street. And it's this neighbor who finally gives them an explanation, who tells them the local legend that shines a whole new, tragic light on what they just went through. It turns out this entity has a name, Agatha. And she's not some random monster, she's the ghost of a woman, a mother, who's now trapped in this endless loop of grief and searching that has been haunting Eden Hill for years.
And it all goes back to 1998. Agatha's 10-year-old daughter died in a tragic accident right there at the school, the exact same school where this whole story started. Agatha just couldn't handle the loss. She died shortly after, literally from a broken heart. And now her spirit is still here, tied forever to the place of her deepest pain.
And that's the heartbreaking truth at the center of this ghost story. Her terrifying appearance, her desperate question, it's all just a mother's endless, hopeless search for her little girl. She's not trying to haunt people, she's just trying to find her daughter.
Which leaves us with one final chilling thought. Agatha is still out there. She's still walking the halls of Eden Hill School and the quiet streets around it. Our narrator was lucky, if you can call it that, but her search isn't over. And so the real question is, who will she ask next?